I, a 32-year-old male, am divorcing my wife, a 33-year-old female, after finding out that my son, who's 5 years old, is not mine. That's the kind of shit you read about online. The kind of story that makes you shake your head and think, poor bastard. Never thought I'd be that bastard. A couple of weeks ago, my world got flipped. My wife cheated on me 6 years ago. The way I found out wasn't from her. Obviously, it came from her sister, my sister-in-law, who I always got along with, who always seemed genuinely happy for us. We went to visit her and her husband after they had their first kid, new baby, all that good stuff. While my wife was fussing over the new arrival and catching up with her sister, I was in the living room, trying to keep my son entertained. He's a good kid, full of energy, loves trucks, building forts out of couch cushions. He was laughing, totally oblivious to the bomb that was about to drop. Later that evening, after dinner, while my wife was putting our son to bed in the guest room, her sister pulled me aside. She looked nervous, like she was about to confess something huge, something that was eating her alive. I figured maybe it was some family drama. Her husband was being a dick, something like that. Nope, worse, much, much worse. She started by saying she had to tell me something, that it had been weighing on her for years, and she couldn't keep it anymore. My stomach dropped. I had no idea what was coming. Then she told me that 6 years ago, before we got married, my wife had confessed something to her. My wife, drunk, had slept with her best friend. She was very sorry, her sister said, almost in a whisper, like that somehow made it better. My blood ran cold. 6 years. This woman, my sister-in-law, had known this for 6 years and said nothing. She watched me propose, watched me marry her sister, watched me raise a kid I thought was mine, and she kept quiet. Now, out of nowhere, she decides to spill it all. Why now? Why not back then, when it could have saved me years of bullshit? She said she felt guilty, seeing me happy with my son, knowing he might not be mine. Said she broke down with guilt when we visited. Convenient timing. I guess, at that moment, I was with my son. He was coloring on the floor, humming some cartoon theme song. I looked at him, and then at her sister, and it was like a gut punch, a direct hit. My mind immediately went to the worst-case scenario. I made my excuses quickly, told my wife I had an early meeting, that I needed to get some things ready at home. I grabbed my son, told him we were going on an adventure, and drove straight to a clinic that offered paternity tests. It was late, but I found one that could do it. I needed answers, and I needed them now. The whole drive. My hands were clamped on the steering wheel, knuckles white. My son was chattering away about the dinosaurs he'd drawn, completely oblivious. I kept nodding, forcing myself to respond, but my mind was 1,000 miles away, replaying every interaction, every look, every moment with my wife from the past 6 years. A week later, the results came in. I opened the envelope with shaking hands. It was like I already knew what it was going to say, but seeing it in black and white, my fears came true. My son is not mine. It's one thing to find out your wife cheated. It's a whole different kind of hell to find out the kid you've spent 5 years loving, raising, teaching how to ride a bike, how to throw a ball, isn't even yours. He wasn't just a kid to me. He was my kid, my blood, my legacy, or so I thought. The moment I read that report, something shifted inside me. I looked at his pictures on my phone, at the drawings he'd made, and it was like looking at a stranger, an acquaintance. Not my son. It wasn't his fault. I knew that. He was just a kid caught in the middle of a grown-up mess. But I couldn't help it. The feeling of betrayal was so deep, so absolute. It tainted everything. It was a cold, hard fact staring me in the face, stripping away 5 years of my life. 5 years of fatherhood. That night, after he was asleep, I confronted her. She was sitting on the couch, scrolling through her phone. I walked in, holding the paternity test results. She looked up, a little annoyed that I was interrupting her, probably expecting me to ask about dinner or some mundane shit. I just put the document on the coffee table in front of her. She picked it up, her brow furrowed in confusion. Then her eyes widened as she read. Her face went pale. "Who told you?" she whispered, her voice barely audible. "It's none of your business," I said, my voice flat, devoid of any emotion. I was trying to keep it together, to keep a lid on the volcano that was boiling inside me. I knew it wouldn't take her long to connect the dots to her sister. Good. Let her. That wasn't my problem anymore. I want a divorce. I told her, not I want to divorce you, just I want a divorce. It was a statement, not a question. This wasn't a discussion, it was a declaration. She was devastated, she said. She swore nothing happened with anyone again, that she'd been faithful in body and soul ever since. Like that was supposed to fix it. Like 5 years of lies, 5 years of me raising someone else's kid, was just a minor hiccup that her newfound sainthood could erase. I didn't believe a word of it. She started blaming the alcohol, saying it was a mistake, a one-time thing, always an excuse, never taking the blame herself. It was always external forces, never her own shitty choices. I just stood there, biting back every insult, every curse word that clawed at my throat. I wanted to scream, to tear the house apart, but I knew I had to keep a clear head. For the divorce, for the practicalities, no point in making things more complicated. Then she pulled out her trump card. I'll demand full custody of the child, she said, her voice shaking, but with a hint of steel underneath, a threat. To use the kid she knew wasn't mine, as leverage. That's when I snapped. The pure audacity, the calculated cruelty of it, hit me like a ton of bricks. Okay, I said, the word coming out sharp, clipped. I don't want anything to do with something that's not mine. You keep the child. I pointed to our 2 dogs, 2 black labs we'd adopted as puppies, 8 years ago. They were curled up on their beds in the living room, oblivious. I'll keep the dogs. The words hung in the air. Her eyes widened even further, a different kind of shock replacing the initial devastation. Her threat had backfired spectacularly. She probably expected me to beg, to fight for him, to be so heartbroken at the thought of losing my son that I'd cave. She thought she had me, but she didn't. Not anymore. I was done. Her demeanor shifted again. The threats evaporated, replaced by a desperate, pleading tone. No, wait. We can take care of him together. You're his father. You are. That was it. That was the line. I exploded. 5 years of suppressed anger. 5 years of her bullshit. 5 years of lies. It all came rushing out. I don't remember exactly what I said, but it was loud. It was raw. And it was ugly. I yelled. I screamed. The words just flew out, unfiltered, full of the betrayal and rage that had been festering. Go take the bastard with you, I yelled. It was harsh. It was uncalled for, especially for him. I knew it even as the words left my mouth. But in that moment, all I saw was her, and the 5 years she stole from me. The 5 years I poured into a lie. A week has passed since then. I'm not at home. The house is in my name. A gift from my parents. She packed up and left with the kid. She went to her parents' house. She hasn't called me. Not once. She left with everything. With the half-asleep kid as I yelled. It was the first time I'd ever truly yelled at her. Really let loose. And it affected her. The fact that she hasn't called me says a lot. It screams of someone who saw me as a provider. A stable presence. Not a partner she truly loved or respected. Just a means to an end. I talked to my parents. My dad, a man of few words, just looked at me and said I did the right thing. Said I shouldn't be raising someone else's blood. He's old school. Practical. And I agree with him. Logically, he's right. But the pain, it's still there. It's a dull ache in my chest. A constant pressure. My younger brother, who's usually giving me shit, told me to write it all down, just to get it out. He said it would help. Maybe. I'm seeing a therapist 3 times a week now. She told me I've already taken the first step, leaving behind what causes me pain. Sounds simple, right? It isn't. It just hurts to know that my family no longer exists. The family I built, the one I believed in, was a mirage. My sister-in-law, her reason for telling me everything, guilt, she said, seeing me happy, knowing the truth. And our visit, a moment of weakness, caused her to break down. Who knows how true that is? Maybe not. The timing felt too convenient, too dramatic, but regardless of her motives, she told me, and I needed to know, right now, I feel a tremendous hatred for my wife. It's a bitter, burning anger, and for the child, it's a feeling somewhere between pain and resentment. It's not his fault. I know that, but it's hard to look at him and not see the lie, not see the years I lost. It's going to take time to get past it. If I ever do, I just hope the divorce goes smoothly. We need to separate finances, properties. If she asks for child support, my lawyer says the paternity test is more than enough. He said it'll stop any illegal process she tries to pull for that. My therapist also recommended not seeing him anymore. Said regardless of the child's feelings, I need to focus on my own first. The child is no longer my problem, and the sooner I accept it, the better. It's cold, but it's practical, and I'm trying to be practical. That kid is going to be hurting, though, and that's the worst part about this whole damn thing. This whole mess, it's a gut check. You think you know someone, you think you've built something real. Then, in an instant, it's all dust. It's all a lie. and you're left picking up the pieces, wondering what the hell just happened. My friends, the guys I've known since high school, they don't say much. Just listen. Some of them have been through divorces, but nothing like this. This is a whole different level of fucked up. My buddy Mark, he got cheated on, but they didn't have kids. He told me to just keep my head down, focus on work, hit the gym. He's been checking in on me. Just a quick text. You good? That's all a guy needs sometimes. No flowery language. No bullshit. Just, you good. I've been trying to keep busy. Work's a distraction. I'm an engineer. I deal with logic. With facts. This whole situation is anything but logical. It's a chaotic mess of emotions and betrayal. My focus at work has taken a hit. My boss, he's a decent guy. He noticed I'm off, asked if everything was all right. I just mumbled something about personal stuff. Moving houses. He let it go. Didn't pry. That's what I needed. My financial situation is a mess. 2, we had joint accounts, shared expenses. Now it's all about untangling it. Lawyers, paperwork, the whole 9 yards. It's a pain in the ass. All the plans we had, the retirement funds, the savings for the kids' college, all up in smoke. Or at least, they're not what they were. I have to protect what's mine, what I earned. No way I'm letting her walk away with more than she deserves. Especially after this. The loyalty thing, I thought I was loyal to a fault. Always had her back. Always supported her. Even when my gut told me something was off. I pushed it down. Told myself I was overthinking it. That I was being paranoid. Turns out, my gut was right all along. And now, that loyalty feels like a weakness. Like I allowed myself to be taken advantage of because I was too damn loyal to someone who didn't deserve it. It's a tough lesson to learn. That sometimes, self-preservation has to come before everything else. You can't set yourself on fire to keep someone else warm, especially when they're the one holding the match. The physical toll has been real. Sleeping maybe 4, 5 hours a night, waking up in a cold sweat, or just staring at the ceiling. My mind racing. My appetite's gone to shit. I've lost weight. My muscles feel tight, constantly tensed. It's like my body is ready for a fight, even when there's no one to punch. The therapist says it's stress. No shit. It's crazy how different she was in public versus private. Around friends, she was charming, funny, the perfect wife, always laughing, always putting on a show. But at home, it was a different story. The condescension, the snide remarks, the way she could shut down any conversation she didn't want to have. I always brushed it off, told myself it was just stress, or that I was imagining things. Now I see it for what it was. Manipulation. A calculated performance. I think about the comments, the reactions from others. Some people, they get it. They understand that this isn't about me abandoning a kid. It's about a man who was deceived, who had his life stolen, and who now has to put himself back together. They say he has a right to choose, and they're damn right. My choice was taken away from me the moment she decided to lie. Then there are the others, the ones who say I'm cold, that I'm a monster for not wanting anything to do with him. They say, how could you punish him for his mom's actions? They don't understand. They can't. They haven't lived it. It's easy to judge from the outside, to preach about morality and doing the right thing, but when your whole world implodes, when the very foundation of your life turns out to be a lie, those moral high grounds crumble pretty quick. One of the comments really stuck with me, from a woman, defending me. She said, it takes a tremendous set of balls for a woman to tell a man that he should love and accept a child that was deceived into believing was his just because the child will suffer. We as women will never experience what it's like to be deceived in that way, and have no jurisdiction to tell a man that he's wrong for immediately distancing himself from said child in these situations. She gets it. She understands that this isn't some abstract concept. It's my life, my reality, and I can't put anyone else's feelings before my own. Not right now. Maybe someday. If I ever get to a place where I can function again, I can reevaluate, but right now, my mental well-being is all I have left to protect. And it's not on me to fix her mistakes, or to pay the price for her selfish actions. She put this kid in this situation. She can deal with the consequences. The thought of her trying to demand full custody, of her trying to use him as a weapon against me, it just solidified my resolve. She played a dangerous game, and she lost. I'm not some pawn in her twisted agenda. This whole experience, it's a masterclass in pattern recognition. Looking back, there were red flags, small things, inconsistencies, but I ignored them. I rationalized them away. I told myself I was being too harsh, too analytical. I trusted her version of events over my own observations. I believed her when she said, that's not who I am anymore. Whenever I brought up past issues, lies, all of them. Now, it's all so clear, like a fucking blueprint for deception. I'm learning to trust my gut again. That feeling of something being off. That nagging doubt in the back of my mind. It's not paranoia, it's an early warning system, and I'm not going to ignore it ever again. This isn't just about me and her. It's about recalibrating my entire understanding of trust, of relationships. It's about building better screening processes for the future. No more blind faith. No more second chances for fundamental character issues. I'm taking it one day at a time. The house feels empty without the constant noise. The laughter, but it's also quieter, less tension. I can breathe again. It's a different kind of quiet, not necessarily peaceful, but devoid of the constant walking on eggshells. I still go for runs, lift weights. It's the only time my mind really shuts up. The physical exertion, the sweat, it's a release. I don't know what the future holds. I don't know if I'll ever look at a woman the same way again. I don't know if I'll ever trust anyone enough to build something real again. But I know this. I'm not going back. I'm moving forward. It hurts like hell right now. But I'm learning, I'm growing, and I'm not apologizing for putting myself first. Not anymore. This is my life, and I'm taking it back.